This is the summary of the 2021 giant pumpkin season. We started our season back in October of 2020, where we prepare the patch by spreading compost mostly made by ourselves, as well as some outside compost that we bring in. The total patch size is about 600 square feet, giving each giant pumpkin 300 square feet. Once we spread the compost, we cover in mulch and leave over winter. By about the middle of March, it was time for us to plant our seeds. We chose 2 different seed varieties and planted our seeds in 4-inch pots in our greenhouse. By April, it was time to plant outside, and we used a couple of hoop houses to protect from frost risk. As soon as it starts to warm up, the plants begin to grow pretty fast. You can see here both plants growing towards each other and almost intersecting. And by June, it was time to pollinate. We pollinated each plant with themselves and made sure to tie up the flower so that no other insects could do any additional pollination. Once pollinated, the first 60 days of growing giant pumpkins is pretty exciting. This is when a pumpkin can pick up as much as 50 pounds a day, and really each day you go out, you'll notice growth on the pumpkin. One of our 2 pumpkins actually grew so fast that it broke its vine at the stem. You can see here where we actually had to cut the front portion of the pumpkin plant away and just rely on half of the plant to feed the pumpkin for the rest of the season. But luckily, the pumpkin continued to grow. Who knows how big the pumpkin would have been if we never had the vine break. This is why vine training is really important. As we got close to the end of the growing season, both pumpkins were estimating approximately 1,300 pounds. We were taking this white pumpkin here to the Nut Tree Way Off and the more orange pumpkin to the Half Moon Bay Pumpkin Festival. So we'll look at the Nut Tree Way Off happen first. As you can see, both pumpkin plants kind of grew into each other. But what we're doing here is we're removing all of the whitish pumpkin plant. And you can still see the stem laying there. And then we lifted it using the excavator and put it on a pallet.
Okay, hold it right there.
All right, this is P26, Brandon Dawson. P26, Brandon Dawson, finally got it right. From Santa Rosa. 1,200 pounds would put you second place right now. It's a beautiful shape, really nice pumpkin. You did a great job. Do you know what the seed was?
Ron Wallace, 1459.
Good seed, 1459, grown by Ron Wallace, one of the premier growers in the world. Your first time? First time grower, first time way off. We hate guys like this. I'm just kidding, we love having you here. We're so happy that you come to the Nut Tree with this giant behemoth. Let's see how good you are at estimating weight. Take our feet off, look at this. I want to see the dance. I want to see the dance. I want to see the happy dance. 100 pounds over what he thought it would be.
This pumpkin weighed in at 1,308 pounds, which was enough for 11th place. And it was actually 8% heavy, which is a pretty good result. On to the second way off. This was the Half Moon Bay Way Off. You can see we're clearing the remaining plant and really doing the same thing, just lifting it with the excavator, getting it onto a pallet so we can trailer it to the event. We had a little bit more of an issue with trailering this pumpkin. It actually was a little bit bigger dimensionally and actually kind of worked itself off of the pallet halfway to the event and nearly cracked itself. Luckily it didn't, it just kind of had an abrasion on one side. Always sold pumpkin.
Alrighty. Good looking pumpkin here. This pumpkin was grown in Santa Rosa, California. Brandon Dawson's here. And this is his very first pumpkin boy out. I think he did pretty good for a first time, don't you? Woo! Right on. How long ago did you plant this thing?
March.
Planted it back in March. Okay, that's a lot of tending to over the months, but are you interested in how much it weighs, by the way? Okay, let's do that. Here we go! 1,201 pounds! Nice! Great job.
1,281 pounds was good enough for 9th place. However, the pumpkin was about 4% light from the estimation.